This is Paul Donovan from UBS's Global Economics Department. The poet Andrew Marvell wrote, "Who can tell for what high cause this darling of the gods was born?" Now we know. British Chancellor Darling was put on this earth to lead the way in bailing out the banking system. The details of the UK plan are inconveniently timed to coincide with the UBS morning audio comment, but the details are not that important. The substantive point is that UK banks receive a capital injection and boost Tier 1 capital ratios. This differs from previous moves around the world. It is systemic, not specific. It injects capital. It does not liquefy assets. It is, in short, what is now needed globally. This will add to the UK government deficit and take it to around 6% of GDP. However, that is what is needed. Governments globally must leverage their balance sheets to allow the private sector globally to deleverage their balance sheets. Now, we need rate cuts and large ones. We need rate cuts because bailing out the banks is half the battle. We must bail out the borrowers. Large rate cuts reduce debt service costs and increase the disposable income of borrowers and allow them to speed up balance sheet repair. I am prepared to pledge personally to Mervyn King, who is, of course, a regular listener to the UBS audio commentary, that if he cuts rates, I will use the money saved from my mortgage payments to repay my debts. Honest. That was the good news. Now let us look around the dark pit of despair in which we find ourselves. Markets are not paying too much attention to economic data, but they should. Yesterday's consumer credit data from the States plunged. This was August data. It predates the crisis. What is happening now will only exaggerate the real economic pass-through of the financial crisis. The fact that the Federal Reserve has become a lender of last resort in the commercial paper market is simply astounding. The state is having to bypass the banking system entirely because the economic consequences of failing to do so would be horrendous. A few other points. The Nikkei had its largest drop in nigh on 21 years. The economy in Japan is export-focused. There are not going to be too many exports. The Saudi and the Kuwaiti authorities have both pledged to deal with any liquidity issues, and the Kuwaitis are planning to support the stock market. Generally speaking, of course, supporting stock bubbles is a bad idea. The fact that there is a need to pledge liquidity from the center of a pool of petrodollars shows how irrational things have gotten. Local markets that should be immune are being caught up in the global whirlwind of panic and fear. Indonesia has closed its stock market indefinitely. Asian money markets have frozen. I'm going to say this one more time. The private sector is not capable of recapitalizing itself. Government capital injections to banks are required globally. Capital injections need to be systemic. We need to bail out the system if you want the capitalist system to survive. Rates need to be cut. They need to be cut now. They need to be cut aggressively. Borrowers need bailing out. Monsieur Trichet, can you hear me? High interest rates do not build credibility in this environment. A monetary union disintegrating into anarchy is not credibility enhancing. Governments must listen to economists. Bad things happen when economists are ignored. If we do not get action quickly, very bad things will happen. That's all for today. Have a good day.